I'm Sam, and today we're going to be making a strawberry whipped cream pie. It's kind of like making a cheesecake, but without all the work that you would expect to put into it. So now we're going to start with the crust. We use one full package of graham crackers. I'm going to take like 2 or 3 from another package just to make sure you have enough when you're making the crust. So what I do is I put it in the food processor because it makes it a lot easier than doing it by hand. And this is supposed to be an easy pie. So you just take them and you put them in. Gets a little messy, so watch out for a minute. It kind of falls out when you're doing it since I have this handy, wonderful Cuisinart that's missing pieces. But you just keep pouring it back in and going. And then just pour it back in. And now we're going to want to add the extra 2 graham crackers. So you add 2 more graham crackers just to make sure that you have enough. Now you're going to want to add your butter. I use about 1 to 1.5 sticks. It just depends on how much butter you like and how unhealthy you want to feel at the end. So that's all up to you. Unsalted butter, that is. You don't want a salty pie. Never a good thing. Now you're going to want to take it out of the mixer and just kind of give it a good little hand. So now that we took this out of the food processor, you're going to want to just kind of crush it up with your hands and add like a teaspoon of sugar. Just to give it a little bit of a sweetness because the whipped cream has so much sugar, not so much sugar, but it has enough sugar that you don't really want to add too much sugar into the rest of the pie. Now we're going to take it and we're going to put it in our pie dish. I like to start off slow and just kind of work my way around the dish. I like making pie because it's always a fun thing, especially when you have a barbecue and people over. You want to have a nice dessert. And quite frankly, this is the one dessert that I'm good at making. Besides cheesecake, but this is a lot less time. And whenever I make cheesecake, I usually make it while people are still eating dinner and they end up eating hot cheesecake. So this is a good pie because it's a cold pie. And it's just delicious and wonderful. Who doesn't love cream cheese and strawberries and graham crackers and butter? You tell me someone who doesn't. I'm more of a cook, not a baker. But this is a good pie for anyone who wants to make a nice little quick dessert for people when they're coming over, or when it's someone's birthday, or when you want a pie. I want to make sure that the end part is not too thick, but when you take a piece off, you want to make sure that everyone gets some graham cracker. So now we're going to put this in the oven at 385 for about 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want to overcook it. You're going to put it in the oven, and then once you take it out, you let it cool for about 20-30 minutes because you don't want to put the strawberries on top of the hot crust. Wow! I love when pie crust is ready. So now that our pie crust is ready, we're going to take our strawberries. What you do with the strawberries is you slice them up. As you can see, we have them sliced. And you put them on the stove really quickly for maybe like 3 minutes on medium heat. And while they're on the stove, you take 1.5 packages of Knox gelatin that has no flavor and a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of maple syrup. I'm not going to do that now though because, you know, I don't want this video to be super long. So after that's done, you put them in the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes because you want them to be cold. This is a cold pie. And then you put them on top of your pie crust. Okay, so now let's get down to the real business of this pie, the whipped cream. That's the part that tastes like cheesecake. It's the best part. You'll really never have anything better than this whipped cream that I'm about to make. So what we use is 20 ounces of cream cheese. This is not for anyone who's on a diet, I'll tell you that right now. 1.5 cups of heavy cream, 4 tablespoons of sugar. You could substitute for confectioner sugar, but you don't want to use too much confectioner sugar. You can do like 2 tablespoons sugar, 2 tablespoons of confectioner's sugar, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1 container of hard cream cheese, and 1 whipped. So the whipped cream is really easy to make. There's only 5 ingredients to it. The cream cheese, heavy cream, vanilla, maple syrup, and sugar. I mean, what can be better than that? You want to start off with the cream cheese. And after you put the cream cheese in the mixer, you want to just turn the mixer on to like a medium speed. This is really not something I would suggest doing by hand because your arm would get really tired. And you might not be able to enjoy your pie. So now that we have our whipped cream in the mixer, 8 ounces and 12 ounces, whichever. I like to use more of the firmer cream cheese and less of the whipped cream cheese because we have the heavy cream going in. You want to start your mixer. And I like to slowly add the heavy cream. And while you're adding that, don't add all of it at once. Start adding your other ingredients. The 4 tablespoons of sugar. And then after that, you want to speed it up a little bit more. And then we'll add our vanilla. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, excuse me. 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. Maybe even a heaping teaspoon. And then slowly add the rest of your heavy cream. More. Okay. So now you're going to want to let this mix for, it usually takes about 5 to 6 minutes for it to get to the firmness you want. And look at it go. Look at that go. You don't want to over mix it too much because then you'll have cottage cheese and that just won't look very good on top of your berries. Let's check the firmness, shall we, everyone? I do think this needs another minute or so. Let's get it going on high. Let's show this mixer who's boss. So I think the whipped cream's done. So now what we're going to do, besides lick this whisk off when the camera's not rolling, is we're going to put the strawberries in the pie crust. Ooh, look at that delicious pie crust. So easy and simple to make. Now your strawberries, you want them to be cold because you don't want them to be like watery and make the crust all gross. I like a lot of strawberries in mine. I don't know how you like yours, but I use about 2 to 3 pounds of strawberries. Now you want to take your whipped cream and just kind of put it on top slowly where it's nice and even, not all at once, and just kind of get it all around. Just a little bit more. I want to try and make it look as nice and pretty and smooth as possible. Now, what we're going to do to finish this pie off is we have to put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes, which I'm not going to make you guys wait for that, so you'll see it in about 30 seconds. So now we're going to take it out of the freezer. It should have set already by now. Now that the pie is set, we're going to put a garnish on it. I like to use mint leaves, a strawberry, or both, whatever you prefer for yourself. So I'm going to cut a strawberry into a flower. Use my fancy skills. So that's my pie, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me make it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. All this pie is missing is a side of bacon, and it would be heaven. But it's heaven on its own. So I hope that you guys really enjoy my pie and let me make it for you in the Philadelphia cream cheese contest.